but we could do it for 8 hours. We can broadcast for 8 hours.
Just because you can do something doesn't mean you should do something.
Oh.
There you go. Just because it's natural doesn't mean it's good. It's natural to get eaten by a bear.
It doesn't mean it's good. Huh. Careful there, land monkey.
Yeah, I'm getting little second thoughts about Buckland being that close to my head now. But, he seems to be in the Christmas spirit, so I think we're good.
Okay. Well, you can see Wits End and I have lights.
You do.
We've strung up the lights.
It's better than being strung up.
Wow. Especially in Texas.
Or strung out.
Strung up.
Touche.
How about if we start a podcast, play some music? Wits End, you're starting?
Oh, what the heck.
I have somebody else is finishing.
It's Thursday night. Let's do it.
Thursday night.
Thursday night.
Thursday.
After a tired day. Here we go.
Welcome to Caching in the Northwest. The only podcast dedicated to geocaching in the Great Pacific Northwest. Hey, we'll talk about caches and caches unique to this little corner of the country tonight. So, hey, write a thank you note to your local reviewer because it's time to go caching in the Northwest.
And we can't do that until we bring in our most excellent monkey. Some say all the other cachers used to laugh and call him names. And other cachers. And others say other cachers would not let the poor land monkey play in their gadget games. All we know is he's called Land Monkey.
Hey, thanks. That's not true. I have been allowed to play in the gadget games. So
okay.
I think, sometimes there's a little bit of, I don't know, a little bit of stretching the truth in these introductions. Just a little bit. Just a little bit. I don't know.
We're getting this off of your bio pages.
All right. Well, hey, folks, we want to thank you. Thank everybody who's listening live, everybody who's listening not live, but still hopefully enjoying the show.
Are we talking zombies?
Limericks.
Well, yeah, we're talking about people listening to the show in the recorded mode. I don't know if we should thank zombies for listening or not, but maybe that's a topic for another night.
Okay.
Anyways, welcome to the show, folks. And first off, let's, as we always like to do, thank our Denali level supporters. That's Slimax, the Mount Vernon Parks and Rec Department, and worldcaching.com. Folks, if you want to know more about supporting the show, click the Patreon link on the cachingnw.com website. And we're done with advertising. Okay, back to the show. Tonight, we are going to talk about getting caches for events or cache series published. And I want to send out a special thank you to Skookum Bear, favorite volunteer cache reviewer up here in the Northwest, for contributing a lot of content to tonight's show. So thank you very much, Skookum Bear, right off the start.
And that's different than the bear right there to your left ear?
Yes, this is Buckland Bear, and he is not a volunteer reviewer. He's applied, but well, we're a lot to ask Chris Ronan about why he's been rejected.
Yeah, probably the lack of hands to type with.
I think the bear quota has been met.
Maybe. I think it's more of the latter there. Yeah. There's only so many bears they can have. All right. Well, folks, again, we also want to thank those who sent in glows. We are getting glows coming in. We are so thankful for that. Please don't stop. Please keep sending them in, because the more we have, the more choice we have to go through and present to you listeners the highest quality geocaching log of the week. So keep sending them in. We appreciate it.
Yes, we do. And we want to hear about it, whether you wrote it or you read it and you found it glow worthy. Send it on in. Give that, drop an email to feedback@cachingnw.com. You know what's best? What? Is if we hear it in your own voice. What about you could even hear it in your own voice, but most people don't like their own voices. But
I love the sound of my own voice. I could just keep going all night.
Yeah, we read that in your bio too. Oh, but you know what? Well, nobody else here. It's just me who makes mistakes. And, the log doesn't come out as well as it should. So if you call in to 253-693-TFTC, or you can use the voicemail tool right there on the website and send us your glow in your own voice and your own words and your own inflections in your own way.
That way we don't have to put our own inflections in, and then we'll do the usual thing where I stop in the middle of it and make some sort of sarcastic comment.
Yeah.
And if you send it in your own voice, you don't have to listen to me, because like most people, I don't like to listen to my own voice. And like Land
I like
Monkey,
to listen to your voice, Jim.
And like Land Monkey, I like to listen to Land Monkey's voice. So there you go. However, tonight's
tones of the monkey.
That's right.
Brought to you by.
All right. It's time for the glow.
There you go.
So tonight's glow, this week's glow, comes to us from Broncos Fan for Life. And they found Glow in the Dark 2, GC2 ZFNR.
Before we get going, isn't the cache glow in the dark always glow worthy?
Well, that must be, right?
One would hope.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
The log reads, number 4,000, an adventure, an epic adventure. Came down with Winos Seattle tonight to tackle this one. Once we determined the parking area and that the gate was indeed open and no signs telling us that it was closed, we parked and were off. Rain? Check. Cold? Check. Flashlights? Check. Some questionable. 3 false starts to waypoint 1. 4th trail was the charm. We located the cache and put the coordinates into my phone. That can't be right. We reread the details. Redid it. Yes, that must be it. And we're off to waypoint 2. We got that trail right the first time and found it quickly. Now off to the final. Found the big stump that indicates we were too far. Found that one easily. Back it up. Wait there. Let's look there. Bingo. It did take some force to get the ammo can open, but Winos was up to the task. Everything was nice and dry. Replaced everything. Then had a discussion on the best route back to the car. Fortunately, we had Mrs. Winos in the lead, calling out any possible hazards along the way during the whole trip. Got back to the car and peeled off very wet outer layers. And he says, yay for seat warmers, she says. A true Northwest night for caching. Going to get to check out this area during the day now. TFTC, 4,000 down, 2,959,513 to go.
That's awesome.
Not that she's counting or
Not at all, no.
That's awesome. What a great log. Nice job, Broncos Fan for Life. Thank you very much for sharing that.
I like that they said they had Mrs. Winos in the lead calling out possible hazards. I've also found that putting a cacher in the lead clears all the cobwebs off of the trail.
That's very important.
Yes.
Yeah, it's apparently my job. Thank you very much.
All right. Well, folks, a little more business to take care of tonight. Tonight, it is time for us to say farewell. We are saying farewell. Bye. It's been a great podcast.
See you later.
It is time for us to say farewell to our hashtag Stash Cash contest and congratulate our winners.
What?
And it's also time to say hello to a brand new contest for December, courtesy of worldcaching.com.
Now, does this mean we have to shave?
No.
Okay, so we're just saying goodbye to these Stash Cast contests, not our stashes.
Not our stashes, no.
That's
Okay.
right. I mean, we still, I believe, as far as I know, hold the record for the most facial hair on a geocaching
I think
podcast.
so.
We don't want to mess with that.
Obviously.
Yeah, clearly.
And when you say hello, I channel a little mental image of Lenny and Squiggy. Hello.
Nice.
I was thinking more Neil Diamond, but okay.
All right. Well, folks, as you may recall, through November, you had a chance to win the hashtag Stash Cash Trackable in support of the Movember movement by posting a stash selfie with the hashtags Stash Cash and hashtag CachingNW. Our winners for the contest were, and hey, more than one winner. We love you guys so much. We have 2 winners. Those winners are Subway Mark and Baja Betty.
Yay.
All right. Congratulations. Subway Mark and Baja Betty.
I was going to say, we got some great entries in, and we couldn't just choose one. So
there you go. So winners, we want to ask you folks to contact us at feedback@cachingnw.com with your mailing address, and we'll get your prizes to you with some help from World Caching.
Yay, World Caching.
Thank you very much.
Woo-hoo! Thank you, World Caching. But we're not done with World Caching
I was
yet.
going to say, I think World Caching is in the chat room tonight, too.
Yeah.
They are.
Can you post the winners' photos? You know, we will have to do that.
Yeah. Not immediately, but we will get to it.
Right. Because, well, we're doing a show right now.
We were not prepared to do that tonight.
Yeah, it's like, oh, yeah, I forgot.
That would've
It's a
been
new
nice.
month. In fact,
Yep.
today is the first day of that new month.
Welcome to December.
I was going to say you could choose whatever month depending on when you're listening to this, but okay, welcome to December. And it's cold outside, my friends.
It is.
It's cold inside. It's the first time this year I've turned the heater on here in the podcast shack.
Yeah, it's cold inside, it's cold outside. You know, here in the western side of the state, we're looking at possibility of snow, which, you know, puts everybody up in a tizzy. Oh, it's snow. It's just solid rain. Move along, nothing to see. But our friends and supporters at World Caching are providing a travel bug prize for December. The theme this month are those wonderfully colored, warm Christmas sweaters that have become all the rage. Geocaching.com has created a new ugly sweater or ugly Christmas sweater travel bug, and you can win your very own by simply posting a picture of a Christmas sweater and include the hashtags. Are you ready? Ugly sweater and Caching NW. In fact, I am taking those and pasting those hashtags into the show notes right now,
Yes,
so
I see
everybody
that.
can
Just as
join.
you spoke.
Love it.
There
Absolutely
you go.
love it.
There's a picture of the trackable right there.
Awesome. And folks, hey, if you are not comfortable posting a picture of yourself in a sweater, you know what? You don't have to be wearing the sweater. It can be on someone else. It can be on a rack in a store that you happen to be walking past. Heck, you can post a picture of the ugly sweater you use to dry your dog when he comes in from outside. Be creative, have some fun with it. Make sure to post a photo with the hashtags, hashtag ugly sweater and hashtag caching NW as soon as you can to be entered right away.
You say it can be on a rack in a store. How about on a moose or a reindeer?
Absolutely. Those also have racks.
Could be.
Okay.
And we're going to stop right there.
Could be on Santa Claus.
He's got a lot of ugly sweaters.
You would think.
Yeah, he gets them from the elves.
Yeah. All righty. Thank you to World Caching for sponsoring another giveaway. I'm excited to see what the entries look like for this one. But let's move on to news, shall we?
We shall.
Local to Seattle and outdoor activity related news. This is from this week. It says a man with terminal lung disease has completed the Seattle Marathon while towing his oxygen tank. How about that? I can't imagine running a marathon in a healthy condition.
Without an oxygen tank?
Yeah, well, yeah, I probably would need one.
We would
actually.
need one anyway, yeah.
Yeah. Our local Como TV reports that Evans Wilson walked the entire 26.2-mile race on Sunday and finished in just under 11 hours. The station reports that the former competitive runner has pulmonary fibrosis and pulmonary hypertension. He told the station he wasn't running the race for fun, and I have to say I can.
It doesn't sound like a lot of fun. Yeah.
Yeah. But he's running in the hopes of raising $50,000 for the Pulmonary Fibrosis Foundation. He says the disease is incredibly underfunded. Como reports he's been living with both conditions for 5 years, and he says the median survival time is about 3 years.
Wow.
Yeah. So I wanted to make sure we threw that story in tonight, obviously because it's local news to the Northwest, but it's just such an amazing story. We caught it live on, well, not live. Well, yeah, I guess it was live when he was crossing the finish line at night. We caught it on the news, and we're just really moved by the fact that this guy and his wife finished this. They did this marathon together. She was with him all the way. And even more interesting, another runner in the race stopped her race early on and joined the two of them. She didn't know them. There was no previous connection, but she, I guess, stopped, asked what they were doing. They chatted, and she helped carry the oxygen tanks through to the end of the 11 hours. And I think if everybody remembers what the weather was like on Sunday, this was quite the thing. So, I just thought it was a heartwarming story. It was a great story, and it's a local story. So I wanted to make sure we shared that.
Cool.
Love it. That's amazing to be able to walk 26.2 miles in under 11 hours, but with an oxygen tank. I mean, it's just, wow. Going to a little more somber note, I just want to say that our thoughts and prayers are with the family of the Tacoma police officer that was shot and killed just yesterday. I mean, tragic story, and this community is in shock. So I just want to mention that, and we can move on.
Way too much of that going on.
Yeah, it's tragic. It's truly tragic.
All right. But yeah, our thoughts and prayers are with the families for sure. All right. Well, moving back into the chat room, Wino Seattle has shared a great little piece of information. They say the original APE or APE cache container that was found on October 1st may possibly show up at their event on Tuesday in North Bend. The GC code for that event is GC6MGD0. I saw that event published and thought, oh man, I wish North Bend wasn't so far away. I believe it's on a weeknight.
It's on Tuesday.
It's on, yeah.
Yeah.
So I can't make it down for a Tuesday, but that'll be cool. For anybody who is local and can make it there, that's going to be a great little event. So definitely look up GC6MGD0 and try and get out there.
Yeah, I'm gonna do my best to run out there.
Awesome. Yeah.
Oh, okay, I'm gonna drive. I could pull a oxygen tank behind me in my car.
There you go.
It's about 26 miles away. No, never mind. I can't compete.
If oxygen masks drop out of the ceiling of your car, make sure to fit your passenger before you help yourself. No.
Also make sure that your tray tables and seat backs are in the upright condition.
That's right.
Oh, there you go. It dropped from his studio.
Tighten your seatbelt low and tight across your bladder.
All right.
Why do I have an oxygen mask? You don't want to know.
You're right. We don't. Moving on.
Chris of the Northwest. Any more news?
Yes. Have you ever been to Paradise on Mount Rainier?
If you've been to Mount Rainier, you've been to Paradise.
That's right. You've probably known that there's no reliable cell phone service. No calls, no texts, no motor cars, not a single luxury.
True that.
No Facebook. And no live feed to the geocaching app. But all that's about to change. Two companies, both Verizon and T-Mobile, have proposed mobile receiver transmitters 5,400 feet up on the mountain. It's a great idea. Regular visitors think is way overdue. Growing up around here, and growing up around here, and have a lot of families and friends, tourists coming up here, especially in bad weather conditions. It's nice to let people know where you are and that you made it safe, Mackenzie Glisson said. The proposal for cell coverage doesn't include a tower that will interfere with the natural look of Paradise. Instead, the two companies are proposing hiding the equipment inside the attic of the Jackson Visitor Center. So, the National Park Service is inviting input from the public on this proposal.
Well, that's interesting.
I can think the only reason to do that is to geocache.
Obviously.
Or safety.
Yeah. No. Geocaching, that's the priority.
I mean, it's quite a drive up there.
It is.
You don't know if they've gotten up there until they get back. So, it's for safety mainly, and of course for convenience. But there were a couple of cases of people who, they didn't know they were missing for many, many hours.
Yeah.
So for geocaching, safety, and periscoping.
Exactly.
Of course, yes.
Oh man, you could periscope as you're swooshing down the slopes.
The slopes?
The slopes.
Okay.
It's going with the swoosh.
Okay. There are good 2-meter repeaters that you can hit from up there, just saying.
Well,
okay.
Everything from up there, so that should be really good.
That's right. Well, thanks for all those excellent contributions to the news, the glow, and all those wonderful topics. But it's time, yes, right now, to get to our main topic for tonight, which is how to get caches for events for series published.
Absolutely. And folks, while we're always full of advice, not always helpful, but certainly opinionated, This time we reached out to, as I mentioned earlier in the show, we reached out to friend of the show and NorthWest volunteer reviewer Skookumbear for his insights. And we are now going to share those insights with you all.
I thought you had to say Skookumbear.
Skookumbear.
Yeah, thank you. Okay.
Forgot about that. Thanks.
Where does this come from?
Where does what come from?
Never mind. Let's get on with the show.
You're going to love our pizza. Okay, for cache series, he notes, if you want all the caches in a series published together, and really, why wouldn't you? He says, please make sure that you add a reviewer note to that effect on every all in caps page in your series. If you don't add such a note, we may publish them as we finish reviewing each one. And if there's any problems found while reviewing, the problem caches wouldn't get published with the rest of the series. So really need to put that on everyone so they can track them all together. He also adds, work with your reviewers if you're planning a large series of caches. It really helps smooth the process if we know that a large number of caches are in the works. If you're in an area with multiple reviewers, make sure you note and your reviewer note mentions that you've been working with a specific reviewer. That way, if somebody pulls it to review it, they know that you're already working with, Skookumbear. And again, that note that reflects that information should be on every, all in caps, every cache in the series. He goes on and says, if you want caches published at a specific time, and I know a lot of us have been at an event where they say, okay, all the caches are going to go live at 10 a.m. or whatever. He says, we don't generally publish caches at a specific requested time. He says, as you mentioned, reviewers, well, they're volunteers, and there's no way to guarantee that volunteer will be at a computer at a specific appointed time. So he recommends what you might do is they might offer to publish your caches on Saturday morning instead of the more specific Saturday morning at 9 a.m. So give them a little leeway. Like I said, they're volunteers and they've got a life too, and let them have some coffee with their significant other.
I was going to say, maybe buy him some donuts.
Oh, there you go.
There's nothing wrong with Tim Hortons. We may have had a little confusion. This is for publishing caches for events or series, not events for series.
Okay.
Right. So events, you can have caches published for, some event that you're doing. Or a series of caches that you want published all at one time. Brian Lang says, I hear bears like donuts.
Oh, that's
Sorry
Buckland.
about that.
Monkeys too.
Oh,
Bears like monkeys?
yeah.
That's right.
Okay.
Buckland does.
Yeah. Let's move on.
Moving along.
and I see I'm still playing the bad cop role in this podcast.
Yeah, it looks that way, doesn't it?
Because my topic is what not to do. You've heard what you can do. Here's what you should not do. First of all, do not leave your cache for the last minute and expect rush handling. You have to pay for that with companies like Amazon. You know what? These are volunteers. I'm sure you could pay them and they would love it, but that's not the point. Summertime is extremely busy for reviewers, and submitting your cache after the deadline for your event will all but guarantee we don't have time to see it before the event. Did you catch that?
Yeah.
Yeah. Submitting your cache after the deadline for your event. Bad. Several years ago, one of the large events had 600 plus caches submitted a couple days prior to the event. Not all the caches were reviewed in time.
Wow.
600. That's a large event.
Yeah.
That's a lot of caches. Anyway, sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, 600 plus caches submitted a couple of days prior to the event. Not all the caches were reviewed in time, and some were not publishable. That's a word. For various reasons, private property, railroad tracks, schools, etc. Didn't want to. I threw that one in. Unfortunately, due to the short advance notice, all the submitted caches were made available to all the event attendees. This led geocachers to look for caches in areas that were not appropriate for geocaching, and for geocaches that were never published. That's not good.
No.
No, that would be obviously it would be disappointing for the people hosting the event, disappointing for the people attending the event, and as Skookenbear has shared with us, it could all have been avoided with a little more planning and notice. So,
and really, 600 caches. That had to take a lot of planning on somebody's part. Don't expect the reviewers just to say, "Oh, all I have to do is click a button and it's done." No.
Yeah.
Brylang says that was for the Okanagan Cache Fest in 2013, I believe. There were hundreds of caches published near Kelowna that year.
Wow. That's a lot. I know there has been some expansive GeoArt published in the greater Kelowna region. I don't think that's technically what it's called, but the hillsides and forests outside of Kelowna have quite a number of interesting GeoArts that have been published. So I guess I'm not surprised in a way, but I wouldn't have thought 600. That's crazy. Anyways, moving on. We also hear that the BC review team, and remember that Skookenbear did say that there are regions where there are multiple reviewers, if there's a lot of caches and cachers in that area that are quite active, and British Columbia and Washington State definitely fall under that category. Anyhow, he did say the BC review team has a set of extra guidelines that they use for large events, such as the Spring Stomp in the Kamloops area, the Okanagan Cache Fest, which he was just sharing with us about, or the OCF Kelowna, the Prince George Cache and Release, or PG CAR, and the HAG, or Vancouver Island South events. I don't know what HAG stands for, but maybe that'll be hashtag FTAS. All right. And of course, the
CHAG.
There you go.
Sorry.
The annual Gold Country event weekend, which we have not yet been able to attend, but maybe next year. All right. So, as Skookenbear says, here we go. Here's some of their extra guidelines. Event organizers should determine a unique tag to the end of event cache titles, i.e. HAG 8 or SS or OCF 6, etc. So great suggestion, even if it's for your own cache series of a dozen caches or 6 caches or whatever. If you have a unique tag, and I would say if you're making a cache series, put the unique tag at the beginning to help those who are loading pocket queries, but that's always good advice. Skookenbear goes on to say event organizers should determine the specific date for caches to be published and ask all cache submissions to request that the cache be published on that date in a reviewer's note. The reviewers can't guarantee a specific time of the day, as discussed earlier, as they all work on different schedules. Event organizers should remind all cache hiders to reread the guidelines, probably before you hide the cache would be a good idea.
Or TFM.
Yeah, yes, exactly. Remember, those guidelines are updated from time to time, so don't rely on your past experience of hides and assume that everything is still the same. Lack of familiarity with the current guidelines is one of the major reasons that caches get sent back by a reviewer. There you go.
Your ignorance is not an excuse.
Exactly. My ignorance is never an excuse, unfortunately. I don't know why that is. I think my ignorance should just be a general excuse I can use anytime, but it isn't.
Well, that may have come out wrong. I didn't mean your ignorance exactly, Land Monkey. I meant ignorance of the guidelines is not an excuse.
Oh, that's what you meant. All right. Well, hey, one more point here that's shared by Skookenbear. Cache submissions should be between 8 weeks ahead of the event.
Not 2 days?
Not 2 days.
Okay.
So 8 weeks between 8 weeks to 3 weeks ahead of the event to allow enough time to review all the caches. And I think if you're placing 600, probably err on the side of 8 weeks.
Yeah. 8 months.
Yeah. To allow enough time to review all the caches that may be submitted for this. Caches submitted late will be considered after all others, including after other caches in the review queue. And the big caveat on that is if time permits, because again, we're dealing with volunteers, volunteer time. You can't assume that these folks are going to drop their lives to accommodate your event, even if it is a cool event.
And we appreciate people donating their time to volunteer to help the geocaching community. But if they're reviewing 600 caches in a short period of time, even as volunteers, don't they get overtime?
They should.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I know they get double pay for overtime.
Okay.
There you go.
Sudo app to get geocache. Man, geocache. Okay. Before you submit that cache review, geocachers are asked to please check the location on Google Maps. Make sure that those coordinates you submitted are accurate. Skookumbear says easily 10% of the caches that they get for events have incorrectly entered coordinates. And it could be anything from just a few meters to many kilometers away from the correct location. Google Maps is a great tool to check and make sure that you typed correctly and you're in the right spot, that you are where you think you are.
That's right. Get the readings where your feet are. Yeah, it's so easy to transpose a number and, suddenly you're out in the middle of the ocean. And, there are geocachers who will go look for it.
Yeah.
So, save a life.
I'm not one.
That's right. Oh, let's see. Skookumbear goes on. Thank you, Skookumbear. You're an invaluable resources. He says hints, and this has been a problem with one of my caches. If you enter a hint on the cache page, please be sure it's useful. Hints like,
I think this applies to any geocache placement.
Oh yeah. Hints like it's too easy for a hint. I'm looking at the hint because I need a hint, and now you're telling me it's too easy. Yeah. I don't like you as a cache owner. Or email me for a hint after a DNF. Yeah. I'll put a hint after it's been found the first time. No, that wasn't good. It's not helpful when somebody is stumped and can't find your cache. If you don't want to provide a hint, don't. You can leave it blank. You're not required to leave a hint. But, don't say, it's in a stump in a freshly mowed forest. So,
yeah,
there you go.
No, that's definitely good advice. And like I said, I think that applies to any geocache that you're creating. That's a pet peeve for a lot of people. The hints that say none required.
Yeah.
I did not know you can't ask a geocacher to contact you. So, email me for a hint after a DNF. Can't do that. So interesting.
Oh. All right. Well, folks, another area in the creation of caches is the terrain rating. Now, remember, if you choose 1 star for the terrain rating, that means the cache is accessible to someone to find, grab, and replace without help from someone else while seated in a wheelchair. So don't use the 1.0 or the 1 star terrain rating unless it actually is. If the cache is indeed wheelchair accessible and you choose the 1 star rating, you'll also need to add the wheelchair attribute. There's an icon for that. Otherwise, choose 1.5 stars or more for the terrain and don't post the wheelchair attribute. That's a really good piece of advice. So really, it has to be, you got to think about it. If your cache is placed in a way that somebody sitting in a wheelchair can reach it from as far as a wheelchair can safely go in the terrain and sign the log and replace it. And I think that's great to actually include those other pieces in there in the advice. Then that's the only way it's possibly a 1 star terrain rating. Otherwise, it's 1.5 or up. So that's great advice.
That's great. And I don't believe there's an attribute for whether or not you're towing your oxygen tank behind you. But, that's something to consider.
So talking on that, so a skirt lifter is truly a wheelchair accessible cache, depending on the height of the.
I was going to say some skirts are pretty tall, so
that's true.
Well, and some skirts,
I've seen some.
Some skirts are actually quite low to the ground, and I don't know if you're in a wheelchair if you can actually reach down to a skirt lifter to pull that up. If so, again, there has to be some consideration to that.
Right. Okay. You're right. I was thinking more that it's paved all the way around it.
Right.
So that a wheelchair could truly roll up to it. But you're right. I had not taken the Z-axis, the height, into account.
Yeah. Just because you can get to the location doesn't necessarily mean you can still access the cache from a wheelchair. So,
in the chat, Tracy from World Caching says, Some skirt lifters have a garden around them. That's true.
Yeah.
And she says, thank you, Land Monkey, for the mentioning of the T1. Caching with Professor P this summer was challenging.
Yeah.
Okay.
So Wet Coaster goes on to say, if you're unsure if it's a 1-1, then make it a 1.5, 1.5, and put a note in the description.
Great advice.
Fair enough.
So
So if you've gone through all this and you're submitted your cache and it's reviewed, if the reviewer finds no issues at all with your cache, you might not hear anything. Reviewers are really busy, and as we mentioned, they're volunteers. They don't have time to send emails to everyone reassuring them that their cache is okay. Hold on for publishing; it's going to be great. They probably don't say it quite like that,
but you can imagine as you're reading their email.
Yeah. So
imagine that tone.
No news is good news, I think, is the message here.
Good point. Well, and particularly if you're talking like 600 caches, my goodness, that's not realistic to expect.
Expect 600 caches to be reviewed.
Yeah, if they had to, exactly. If they had to email and tell you that each of your 600 plus caches was reviewed, you could expect the equivalent of TFTC.
Yeah.
Yeah. Done.
Yeah.
Finally, now here's something that if you haven't submitted a cache, for review, then you don't know that there's a reviewer note on each and every cache. And this applies to every cache you hide, not for just events. And this note, it should contain a brief description of the cache container and ensure the cache is labeled with the owner's contact information, unless it's too small, where it's hidden, how it's hidden, and if it's attached to something and how it's attached. For example, if somebody says birdhouse in a tree, we will have to disable the cache page to get more details. Is the birdhouse hanging from a wire loop over a branch? That's good. Or screwed into a tree? That's bad. So if the cache is on private property or at a business, please provide contact information for the property owner who gave you permission for the cache to be placed on their property. And remember that these reviewer notes, nobody else sees but you and the reviewer. Mm-hmm. So when that goes to get submitted and approved, those reviewer notes are taken off, so nobody can see. Oh yes, it's a birdhouse. With a wire loop up on the third branch, 6 feet from. Nobody's going to see that. So
if you'd like to buy that book of unpublished reviewer notes,
I bet you some of them are pretty entertaining, actually. But
they are.
But that said, speaking of things that people can see, so the cache descriptions. The descriptions in caches cannot include the name of a business, encourage people to buy something, or rave about the products or services available. So that's interesting. And I think that's something over time that has occurred, because I know some older cache descriptions do have some things in the descriptions that would definitely cross the line on that guideline. But, as mentioned before, guidelines change over time. And so be careful when you're writing your cache descriptions. Cache pages need to be about the caching experience rather than sounding like an advertisement. The same applies to cache pages that solicit. Please don't use a cache page as a platform to promote your favorite religion, politician, worthy cause, etc. If the cache page, so changing topics slightly here. If the cache is in a BC provincial park, now, I would be interested to hear what happens with respect to Washington state parks, but specifically to British Columbia provincial parks, the cache owner will need to read the regulations from BC parks, make sure their cache complies with those regulations, and post a reviewer note to that effect on each page in one of the parks. The regulations are available at a link that we'll put in the show notes, but I think we'll also, are you about to post those in the chat?
I don't know what you mean. You mentioned the link and it shows up.
It just appeared.
It's voice activated.
Ah, very cool. I like this.
We aim to please here. So, if that cache that you've submitted for review is a mystery, unknown, or puzzle type cache, the method of solving the puzzle or what makes it a mystery, you've got to post that in the reviewer note. Sorry, you can't make the reviewer solve the puzzle to make sure it works. The guidelines say you must put the solution in the reviewer note. It will be deleted, as Chris of the Northwest said, once the cache is published. Nobody else is going to see that. But it has to be provided before it can be published. And be sure that any stages or waypoints and the finals of multi-caches and puzzle caches are listed in the waypoint area on the cache page.
Yeah, so the reviewer does not beta test your puzzle for you. That's not the point.
No.
And another thing I would suggest, only because it's experience, make sure you can actually hide the cache where you think you can. I made up a nice little cache and submitted the page. It got approved. I thought, oh, I got to go out and put the cache on there. It was a magnetic cache, and the box was aluminum. It's a big metal box. Of course it's magnetic. No.
Almost.
So, hold on. That didn't work. So.
You need to use some of those aluminum magnets.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't try those. Yeah.
They're called glue.
While the reviewer won't beta test your cache, perhaps a fellow geocaching friend might.
There you go.
A puzzle cache, I would definitely say, or a field puzzle. Have somebody look that over. Make sure, it may be easy for you. You built it, but it could be difficult for others. Or just increase the difficulty and say, you're on your own, buddy. Oh, that's the bad cop talking. Sorry. Now, if you have any more questions about submitting caches for events or for series, a large number of caches, maybe 600 caches for your next event, Land Monkey, when are you throwing that event with 600 plus caches?
Tomorrow.
Okay.
Yeah. So
you got plenty of time tonight.
I'm submitting the caches tonight.
Yeah, you got plenty of time.
Yeah.
Let us know when you get them all submitted, and we'll all submit them for archiving on the podcast.
Party. Yeah. I mean, what could go wrong, right? Oh dear.
That surprised me. Okay. But give yourself some time. If you have any questions, go ahead and email feedback@cachingnw.com, and we will do our best to get those answered for you.
Yeah, absolutely. We will leverage all the different angles we have to try and get you guys.
That's right. Pretty much IHAM. We'll just ask IHAM or make them up. Yeah. Buckle and Bear has all the answers.
Yeah.
And
all the antlers? Yes, he does.
And he whispers in Land Monkey's ear. That's a little creepy. But make sure you come back December 15th. That's just 2 weeks away. That's 14 days by my math.
Why would people want to do that?
Well, we're going to have a special guest on this podcast, and that's going to be the notable cacher, Rock Chalk. That's Chris Ronan from geocaching.com.
Awesome.
Sounds like fun.
Yeah. He's a lot of fun to have on the podcast, and you might get just a little inside information about what's going on at GCHQ.
Boy, we hope so.
Yeah. In the meantime, folks, where can our fine listeners find you upon the World Wide Webs?
The World Wide Webs. I love it. Well, hey, if you're looking for the Land Monkeys, you can always check out our blog, landmonkey.blogspot.ca or landmonkey.blogspot.com. And you can follow us. Please follow us. Twitter, Instagram, Periscope. We're at LandMonkeyGC. On Facebook, we're Team Land Monkey. And on YouTube, hey, there's new videos coming out every couple of weeks. And that is Land Monkey on YouTube.
Good stuff there.
How about you, my friend Wits End?
Well, I am right here on Thursday nights.
There you go.
Otherwise, you can find me at twitter.com/witsend, facebook.com/witsend, and a lot of other things /witsend. If you like it and it says Witsend, then it's me. If you don't like it, then it's somebody else. Chris, you, sir?
Well, you can look for me at Caching NW. That's Facebook, Google+, Twitter, even .com. You can always head over to cachingnw.com/host and read the bios and all these links that we just mentioned, and a few we didn't, because we all like surprises. And there's a little gift for you there. Merry Christmas.
Ooh, nice. Oh, Christmas gift. Well, folks, again, we want to thank you for taking the time to listen to this episode of Caching in the Northwest. You can be a part of the show by calling 253-693-PFTC and leave us a comment, ask a question, or help us get our groove back any time of the day or night. And of course, you can email us feedback at cachingnw.com. And remember that your support helps to keep quality shows coming. If you would like to eventually hear a quality show, please click the Patreon link on the cachingnw.com website. This show is licensed under a Creative Commons Attribution 3.0 license. Copy all right, 2016 by Chris Umpenauer. And now, folks, please stay tuned for
The After Show.
Got a strange echo in your cave down there.
Oh, maybe it was Buckland whispering it to me.
And I really want to hit stop. I'm not going to do it. I'm going to be good.
So this is the new thing we're doing. We're actually including in the feed now the after show.
So I should ask a quick poll. Do you want the after show to be a separate show in the feed, or do you like them all combined together?
Great question.
We can split it, send out a different one, and maybe all you want is the after show and you don't even care about the show. Maybe we should do a pre-show. No, we don't have time for a pre-show.
Okay. But a freak show.
So maybe you saw Freak Show. Freak Show, that is the show.
Yeah, welcome to the podcast.
Yeah.
Oh,
we're getting some feedback already.
Yeah, we got feedback. Separate, combined.
No, I don't know what to do. I'm so confused. Oh dear.
We'll have to wait for the late states polling to come in.
Yeah. We'll have to go to the Electoral College for the decision.
Oh, there you go. Maybe you saw in the chat, we use the letters FTAS. That's for the after show. So as we're going along and chatting, perhaps something comes up and you think, oh, I would like to talk about that, but we don't have to do it now. We'll save it. FTAS, for the after show.
Yes, we have to thank, I can't even remember who came up with that, but definitely some of our regular participants in the chat came up with that, and it works really well, so we love it.
So the first FTAS that we had was from IHAM, and he says that the monkey cam is behaving badly tonight.
Well, yeah, we've got some lighting challenges going on in the monkey.
Did you pay your bill?
It's yes, I did pay my bill.
Yeah, why not? Seattle says, why is it so dark in the monkey lair?
There you go. It's a long story I'm not going to get into tonight. So we're just running off one light source for tonight, and therefore it creates all kinds of havoc on the imaging. So apologies for the image quality tonight, folks.
If you'd like to contribute to the Land Monkey Lighting and Camera Fund,
go to a GoFundMe page near you.
Yeah, or Patreon link.
Yeah. Oh, there you go.
We were also asked about
Land Monkey page. GoFund Land Monkey page.
There you go. We were also asked, what is HAG? And I think I even asked that because I don't actually know what it stands for.
It's different than haggis, right?
Yes, it is.
Just checking.
It's like the fast food version of haggis.
Okay.
Yes, it's funny. It's an acronym used for an annual geocaching event on southern Vancouver Island. But Brylang says that he says #FTAS. Someone told me HAG was hide and go, but I have never confirmed that. So that's the best answer we have so far, I think.
Okay.
HAG.
Yeah. Oh, I have some additional feedback about
height adjustable gophers.
That's probably what it is.
Yeah, probably. That helps with those low skirt.
Although there's more marmots than gophers on Vancouver Island, so that doesn't make sense then. So ham would work, but
yeah,
that's what it is. So what have we got here? Tracy from World Caching says there isn't a Caching in the Northwest bar on the Land Monkey feed. So yes, if you'll notice, in my, what we refer to technically as the lower third, is missing and has been for a few weeks from me. And that is because Google hates Canada.
I'm convinced of it. I think it's an international thing. You know, we start this podcast from the United States, and it says, "Oh, you're Canadian. You're from another country. No, you can't do this."
So yes, mysteriously, about 3 or 4 weeks ago, every time I went to load the lower third, I would get a weird error. So I have tried to research that error, and a lot of other people are getting it, and nobody has a solution, and Google is not weighing in on providing an answer or solution to it, even in their forums. They're basically saying, well, this isn't a really heavily supported product here, so the Hangouts, so good luck with that. There you go. I'm still continuing weekly to try and work on getting it to work. So I try something new every week, and so far it still doesn't work.
Yes, he really thought he had a solution this week. It's like, oh, good. Land Monkey?
Yes, sir.
The Q&A is focusing on you this evening.
Oh, lucky me.
You're getting all the questions. You're getting all the answers. And it's chat, not Q&A. That's another thing I have to get over. What show? We're at 175 shows. I've said Q&A for, at least 150 of them. So
that's true. 175. That's like a milestone tonight. It's got to be.
Well, yeah, we've never done show 175 before. Next week, we will never have done show 176.
True. There you go.
So, Three Ham said he can spare a bag of 100 IKEA tea light candles. Now, it'll take you most of the podcast to get them lit.
Yeah.
But
oh, that's funny.
Takes most of the podcast for our listeners to get lit too, but
yeah, we do it before the podcast. It makes it a lot more entertaining for us.
Wow.
Three Hams in a Rose also offers to make have his kids make a lower third out of cardboard for your studio.
Ooh, well, that would be interesting,
wouldn't it? Though,
yeah.
You just have to hold it up
all night like that. That would work.
Yeah,
that's hilarious. I love it.
If you could somehow mount it to the bill of your cap so that it would be with you wherever you.
Oh, there you go. You stay focused with you wherever you move.
Nice. Hey, I appreciate the love.
Three Hams, I'll send you the official Caching in the Northwest logo if you want to, and we can get that done.
Nice. All right.
Was there one other? Wet Coaster says Google takes their lead from Geocaching HQ. It's not allowed in Canada.
No. Yeah,
and
I think I've laid off Geocaching HQ on that one.
Yeah.
I gave them a really hard time for about a year, and so I thought, okay, I'm going to back off.
Wino Seattle. Yeah, sure you are.
Yeah, no, I have been really, really nice to them.
Uh-huh.
Yes.
Well, Chris Ronan's still coming on the show, so you've done something right.
See?
Yeah.
And I didn't even mention the fact that I guess, I don't know, technically we're not now the only geocaching podcast in the Northwest.
We are still the only one focused on the Northwest.
That's true. There's this
dedicated to geocaching in the Northwest.
There you go. All right. So we can keep that.
We're fine. Yeah.
All right. Good.
We don't have to change our tagline.
Loophole. Well, I wasn't going to change it anyways.
Loophole.
We were the first podcast dedicated to geocaching.
Yes, and we don't even float in pools while we talk.
Yeah.
Don't know what you're talking about, but I think.
Wow, I'd forgotten about that. Okay. Wow. Let's see. I was trying to get Wino Seattle says that Land Monkey's mic is off too. It goes in and out.
Oh.
That's a Google thing. Yeah.
Because my audio seems really good tonight for me.
It does, but it's gone in and out. It could be a bandwidth issue. Could just be, the Google's heard. They do some audio processing for you as a favor to you. So as background noise increases, it tries to change that and eliminate, hum and hiss and different things. And it can really just screw up what the mic sounds like. So I wish you could just lock it out and let it be, but no, the Googles know better.
If you want to eliminate hum, learn the words.
Boom, boom, cha.
Let's see.
Tracy from World Caching admires my major award.
Yes.
Mm.
You can get Christmas lights of your major award. You can get Christmas lights of the little leg lamps and hang them around your tree.
Classy.
Yes, I know. Wino Seattle would like to ask something bear in BC
Skookumbear.
if he has any knowledge of Earth Cache publishings.
So Winos, it is pronounced Skookumbear. So
He's working on an Earth Cache in Oso and really doesn't know what he's doing.
Ooh, I love Earth caches. Oh, speaking of which, our friend of the show, Shermanator, Shermanator 18, just got landowner approval for her first Earth cache in New York.
Nice.
Ooh.
Yeah, she sent me a private message on Twitter because she was very excited about it.
Nice.
That's awesome.
Wino Seattle, I would Brylang says you need to consult GeoAware. Very good. If you want somebody local, I would start with Ojoy. She knows Earth caches inside and out. It's published several of them, and it's a good start.
Good advice.
Good, yeah, and she's happy to help. Let's see. Hey, Chris of the Northwest. Apparently, you can suspend a moving magnet inside an aluminum container. You can induce a magnetic field on the outside to which a regular magnet can be attached. Oh,
Sounds
well, I
simple
knew
enough.
that.
Yeah.
No, I didn't.
And
Wow,
2
thanks,
plus 2
Brylang.
equals 5 for large values of 2. But
Yeah. The large aluminum container was not my own.
Making it a little more difficult to do that.
Yeah.
Slightly, yes.
Wet Coaster says Land Monkey should watch tonight's Geo Gearhead show because we talked about geocaching promotions, and it's really a company or product they're teaming with that decides where the promotion is going to take place.
Exactly, and that's why I said earlier that I've backed off leaning on geocaching.com about that because it's not really their call. It's whoever's sponsoring the promotion. So what I have started to do and ask other people to do, and I'm going to get a little more aggressive about it soon, is to contact Canadian companies like MEC, like Canadian Tire, like Tim Hortons, and let them know that there are over 30,000 active geocachers in their market space across Canada that are a great target audience. So here's the link to geocaching.com's trackable promotions department. Get in touch with them. Get
Promotions
something
at geocaching.com. Hey, how about a hockey team sending out some hockey pucks as trackables?
Yeah.
going. Ooh, that would be cool.
Yeah.
Prince George Cougars, top junior hockey team in Canada right now.
No.
Prince George Cougars, yeah,
Right there in Prince George?
yeah, well earned. They've been working at that one for years.
What about Point Roberts? Do they have their own team?
I'm sure there is a team, but not a WHL team out of Point
Okay.
Roberts. I'm sure that there's some kids who play hockey in Point Roberts.
I don't like the twist that the chat room has taken.
Oh, what's happening?
B10 Dragon says, Brian Lang, keyword being moving, generally at high speeds, and it has to be continuous, talking about this magnetic field
Oh,
inside of an aluminum container. To which Brian Lang says, hey, don't wreck the illusion. I wanted to see him try it.
nice.
So, let's see. Wet Coaster says, I just started taking the Earth Cache courses. We'll see how it goes.
Awesome. Yeah, those are great.
And Winos doesn't know about those.
Oh,
But go
okay.
back and listen to a previous episode.
We do. We cover that off. We actually have GeoWare on the show talking about that quite a few episodes back. We'll have to look that up. But they are called
The Earth Cache Academy.
Yep. So if you Google Earth
Thank
Cache
you,
Academy,
Dollamore.
you'll get those that'll come up, and they're very accessible. They're not And by accessible, I mean easy on the brain. They walk you through the concepts really well. I would start with the geological time, which I think is technically the first course. But that one's really foundational and helps you get a lot of concepts. And then there's some other great ones around fossils, around earthquakes. Just fantastic. Of course, I love geology, so I'm slightly biased.
Slightly.
Wants to know what episode that's on, and I'm looking furiously.
Okay. All right. Well, while you look that up, what else have we got going on here? Dora Moore said Earth Cache Academy. She started it too and then promptly ran out of time. She go back and finish up the first one. Yeah. It does take a little bit of a time investment to go through the course materials, but they're really well laid out. I think it's a great investment. And even if you don't want to take them to say, okay, well, I'm learning what I need to learn to place an Earth cache, the information that you learn is really helpful for actually logging, answering and logging Earth caches and not having your answers or your logs deleted.
Does it take eons?
Okay.
There you go. Look what I just found.
Ooh.
Episode 96.
Ah.
That was recorded May 30th, 2015.
96, and we're at 175.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Man, we're just epically rolling here through the episodes.
Yeah.
Oh.
It's like one a week.
I know. We get almost 50 a year in.
Not all three of us in 50 a year, but, you know, between the three of us. Awesome. All right. So how are we doing? We got pretty much everything answered there.
Skookum Bear added his profile. He's found 33 caches. Oh, well, the bear has. I don't. How does a bear find a cache?
Leave food in it. Dear geocache guy.
Are they all caches that he reviewed?
I hope not.
Would take some of the challenge out of it.
At least puzzles, yeah. What do we got here? I grew up, Wino Seattle says, I grew up outside Philadelphia, and the Schuylkill, I think it says. Schuylkill River sounds just like Skookum. So it's Schuylkill River, probably.
Yeah.
Schuylkill River. That does sound like Skookum. There you go. Very cool.
Red Coaster says bears find caches in the woods. What else would they do there?
Don't know. But it sounds like a familiar question.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
okay.
We're going to call it a night, guys?
Night, guys.
It's a night.
All right. Folks in the chat, again, thank you so much for the great activity. We always appreciate hearing from you guys.
And Brylang, would you officially help us to exit the podcast? But thank you. We thank our supporters. It's the first of the month, so that means those Patreon charges will be coming off your card. So thank you so much for your support. It really means the world to us.
It really does. It helps out enormously. All right. Well, there we go.
Look at that. 3 in a row.
3.
That's it. We're done, folks.
4.
Good night, all.
Guys, thanks a lot.
Night.